Israel and Hezbollah now threaten each other with a first strike. That would make the Gaza war, what we've been talking about since October 7th, look like child's play. And it is very difficult to have a scenario where the United States or Russia does not get involved in an Israel-Hezbollah war. World War III. This is not hyperbolic. The Iranian-backed militias said they have over 1 million rockets and 100,000 fighters standing by. This is video Hezbollah published of their drones flying over potential targets in northern Israel. So things are about as dangerous as they get. And the New York Times reports the Biden administration is abandoning right now its $230 million aid pier in Gaza. Remember, that was the thing that was going to solve all of this and bring happiness to Gaza. In a perfect metaphor for Biden's Israel policy, the pier broke apart multiple times. And video now shows it thrashing about in the sea, void of any aid, with porta potties you can see out there in the distance at the ready. Niall Stanage, White House columnist for our partners at The Hill, joins us now. Last time we talked about this, you said President Biden risks becoming impotent or appearing impotent in the Middle East. Have things gotten worse since then?
Yes, I think they have. I mean, the situation in Gaza has worsened further because of the lack of humanitarian aid, among other things. There's the situation in the northern border. The president has dispatched a special envoy there, as you know, trying to de-escalate a situation that threatens to spiral out of control and is being amped up by both sides.
Amped up by both sides, and you think that there are major political divisions in the United States that are causing problems. Things that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, who I know you have certain feelings about, tried to exploit. Here he is talking about the U.S. withholding weapons and ammunition.
It's inconceivable that in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies. Give us the tools and we'll finish the job a lot faster.
U.S. officials say Netanyahu's accusation video hurts efforts to avoid a war in Lebanon. This is Barak Ravid, one of the great reporters on Israel relations. 3 Biden administration officials tell Axios they are concerned that Netanyahu's actions create daylight between the two allies. Couldn't one argue that there is already a lot of daylight and that was created by the Biden administration?
I'm not sure in what way you could argue that. I mean, the criticism that I hear most often, admittedly from the left, is that Biden has embraced Netanyahu too closely, while the death toll has climbed, while humanitarian aid has been narrowed or restricted entirely, and that has cost him with his own party. So when you say there's too much daylight, what are you thinking of beyond the one arms shipment that was paused?
No, I'm saying that the White House clearly has put constraints on Israel. They asked them to delay going into Rafah. There was an enormous amount of pressure to make a deal on the hostages. We can argue either way whether that is a good thing or not, but clearly the give us a hunting license with no bag limit, which is what Benjamin Netanyahu wants, has not been given.
Well, we're talking about human beings here, so let's be careful about metaphors about hunting licenses.
We're also talking about terrorists here.
The reason that there were restraints on Rafah was because there were going to be thousands of civilians slaughtered. That's why the arms shipment was paused, because the Biden administration took the view that you shouldn't drop 2,000-pound bombs on heavily built-up areas.
Okay, so we look forward now. Either way, how much should the left worry? And maybe this plays into it, that a war between Hezbollah and Israel changes everything, and it changes the political dynamic, right? Because those who talk all the time about the Palestinians and the plight of the Palestinians and everything else, they don't have the same argument when it comes to Lebanon. If there's a force-on-force war between Israel and Hezbollah, the world is going to be forced, the free world is going to be forced to embrace Israel once again, will they not?
I'm not sure that they will, because I think that Mr. Netanyahu's actions have already caused a deepening isolation for Israel. We know he has very low approval ratings at home. There is criticism within Israel that he is using war and the threat of expanding the war for his own political purposes.
His numbers are going up.
Now, yeah, to 32%, which isn't much to brag about. So, look, I think that the problem here is that both sides have a motivation, by which I mean both sides, Israel and Hezbollah, have a motivation to amplify and to further elevate the tensions here, and that's very, very dangerous.
And fair to say the political capital of the Biden administration with both sides is pretty low.
Absolutely, very low, because they're no longer seen as an honest broker and they're distrusted by almost everyone.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.